What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode of Ludus, we are going to be looking at the Temple of Fortune. One of my lovely subscribers was kind enough to leave a comment requesting this video, so I'm going to do this. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Temple of Fortune, what I think will be the best course of action for you, and then go on to what I believe is one of the strongest lineups in the entire game, plus the perks attached to those and why you should work them. So, Temple of Fortune is a wonderful exchange rate. You get these little diamonds through an event. The event is Contest Rush Stars. So I believe this happens once a week, as I just completed this one, and it does say 4 days, 10 hours as a remainder time for when that pops back up again. Not seeing any others that would say that, aside from the Contest Rush of Hearts, which is for coin. But this is going to be your most beneficial way to run it. Now, if you're a new player and stuff like that and whatnot, I don't highly recommend this. Temple of Fortune is great for Temple Rush. But if you want to spend money on it, you're more than welcome to. Down here in the primary section of our shop, you scroll your way down past all the offers and you get Dice of Fortune. For 600 emeralds, you get 90. For 2,000 emeralds, you get 300. And for 6,000 emeralds, you get 900. With those 900, if you choose to go down that route or any of the routes, you put in 5 cards on your wish list. If you scroll all the way down, you will see... Oh, you have to click on one. Sorry. As you scroll down, you'll see a whole bunch of the legendaries are part of the wish list, which is great. However, there are some forbidden cards. These forbidden cards include the Astrals, some of the newer ones, and some of the more overpowered cards such as Griffin, Evil Eye, Huerta, Kitsune, stuff like that. So who's to say one of these days these might make their way up into the wish list cards, but to my knowledge, these are the ethereal. I want to say these are the ethereal summons, just from looking at them, but I could be mistaken. It could just be that they're overpowered. A lot of them are. So what I highly recommend you do is you have the 5 slots. In these 5 slots, I would put in one card that you're working up. Since I have Monkey King in here, I can now rotate him off. And I will be putting in Paladin. No, Paladin's already on the wish list. My bad, yo. No, I confirmed it. Or no. What? Wait. Boom. Wish list is already complete. How do I remove you then? Oh. Click. Go there. So that's how you remove them. You just saw it firsthand. I have very, very little experience rocking this wish or the Temple of Fortune, as I don't hit it very frequently. I believe this costs way too much financially to benefit anything else. Hence the Contest Rush. So yeah, you'll have to bear with me on that one. So for right now, what I've put in here is Lava Girl, Witch, Vulcan, Tech Golem, and Paladin. All 5 are primary perks that I like to run in my lineups. Paladin for Shield of Faith, Tech Golem for armor plating, Vulcan for fortification, Lava Girl for landmine, and then Witch for Deadly Swamp. Hopefully getting these 2 more often than not, but I'll accept anything across here. What you do is you have all of these different ones where you have multiple copies. What I highly recommend is if you're in a situation similar to mine, you go with your max cards, put those in, use those copies first, and then use copies of cards that you don't plan on bringing up anytime soon. My next one would probably be Gunslinger, maybe Fencer after that, who's to say. But Angel was the primary one I was using because, well, I never want to use Angel ever in my life. His perk is okay, but I'm not down for bringing up that card just yet because I won't ever utilize him. So I'm just going to toss Muerta in here, as I might get a couple of these gems here soon. Who's to say? So what you'll do is you'll hit the exchange rate. It gives you 5 attempts. So in those 5 attempts, you have a chance to pull one of these. On your 5th attempt, as you can see here, there's some little bowls here. I've already done one. This is number 2. On attempt number 5, you are guaranteed one of these cards from the exchange rate. So you're basically getting 1 guaranteed card for every 5 copies of a legendary you put in there. Again, one of those things, if you choose to spend money and you choose to utilize this, it does pay out, but understand it is a 1 in 5 shot that it may or may not benefit you, and you definitely won't be able to pick which one you get. It's random. all the way across the board. In regards to the contest Rush of Stars, as you can see here with the event rules, duel with other players while trying to collect super merge level heroes, get ranked, gain dice. Okay, it's called dice. Gain dice of fortune as a reward. So what you'll do is the same thing with contest Rush for Hearts. What you're going to do is you're going to go into your games, you're going to play normally for 1 hour. Your timer is always 1 hour. In that hour, you want to merge as many cards together as possible. So when you're in your fights, the contest rush actually benefits a little bit, because if you run into an OP bot that is full red perks and stuff like that, you already know you're going to lose. So you might as well use that match, at least the 5 rounds, 5-10 minutes out of your life, something like that, to merge together as many supers as you can. Win, lose, or draw, you're still going to be putting numbers onto your leaderboard in the contest rush. So it's good to always go down that route. If you see this pop up, I highly recommend hitting it. It is the freest way to do it. I think the number 1 slot, I believe, is 60 dice. So you get 2 pulls. So if you look at it at a grand scale, once a month, you're looking at getting at least 2 legendary copies off your wish list if you are not a spender. The Temple of Fortune is a polite way to give people 1 or 2 copies of what they need. It's something to keep you active for sure in the game, and it's something I promote. Same thing with Contest Rush of Hearts. The Hearts is basically your leaderboard is based off of how many cards or hearts are remaining after your rounds. If you can get to the number 1 slot, you get 1,000 gold, and 1,000 gold doesn't seem to mean much on paper, but in the long run, it does pay off rather well. I've used it quite a few times just to be able to get those extra coins in, so that way I can do levels. So that's the Temple of Fortune. That's my feedback on the Temple of Fortune and how to get the dice for the Temple of Fortune. So I hope you do really well in this area. I hope if you're utilizing this system, I hope it works out well for you. Again, 1 in 5 shot of getting a copy of the 5 cards that you have on your wish list. So with that said, we're going to move over to the lineup for the day. I'm sure I've already done this lineup a few times, but honestly, with the way my perk system has worked out and how I've leveled them up, this is the best way I have found to basically get through Ludus ladder relatively simply. First and foremost, we're looking at Griffin. His perks are Onslaught, Tech Golem Armor Plating, and Soul Harvest. This does keep him alive very, very well. If you can get these to level 100, he'll have once per round rises from the dead with 50% of max HP and 50% of energy if killed on enemies half of the board. That will pair nicely with Soul Harvest. At level 100, the number of targets is increased to 3 that are getting consistently dealt damage. So you're constantly keeping Griffin alive. Now, if you so choose, you can go and put Mako's Bulwark onto Griffin if you so choose. However, at level 100, armor plating does gain immunity to damage during the first 7 seconds of each round. So with that combination of stuff, you basically make a Griffin that is extremely hard to kill. And once it is put down, it is a good chance it will come back and it will still wreak havoc because Soul Harvest is gaining back all of that health. Even though it's 50% that it comes back with, it still has a chance to get all the way back up, especially if there's cards like Jelly Knight, Muerta, or Mummy Warrior, or Witch Doctor, anything that's adding extra bodies. Plus, Griffin gets the combat boost of restoring health every time he kills something, so that works out nicely. His damage is at 569,000 at max level. His ability damage is 9.4 million, just shy of his own max health. So that's pretty fantastic, honestly, and it's adding a shock value. It's decreasing the outgoing damage by 60% for 3 seconds. Griffin, honestly, best backline jumper in the game. To follow that up, we're going with Muerta. Muerta has Singularity, Mako's Bulwark, and Ray of Light. This is up for debate. However way you want to spin it, you can spin it whichever way you want to when it comes to the circles. You can do Landmine and Deadly Swamp instead of Singularity and Ray of Light. I choose to go with Singularity and Ray of Light, not only to protect my backline, but also to give a little bit of regeneration. The Singularity pops off on those level 100 armor platings because it does take them away for 3 seconds. If you can get it to level 100, returning from another dimension, the enemy gains stun for 5 seconds. So that's 8 seconds out of the... Let's look here while I'm talking about it. That's 8 seconds out of the 10 seconds where it gains immunity. So it's really going to have immunity of 2 seconds when it's active on the board. That is very, very beneficial, especially for the fact that a lot of armor platings go on Tech Golem or Griffin, either one, and they are a headache to deal with if you cannot get that stun down. So something to look into there. Evil Eye has Eldritch Horror, which is his perk, Landmine, and Lightning Reflexes. Going for faster attacks gives us a better chance to get onto our leash. The leash for his Evil Eye's ability is very strong, especially when it's down to 1 or 2 opponent cards left. You can stun lock something into oblivion with the leash and with a stunning character. Landmine is the #1 perk in the entire game. At level 100, targets set on fire by the incendiary landmine cannot gain energy. This is extremely beneficial. This helps a lot of players win the game. If you can combine this on the right or left side of the board and then have singularity on the opposing side of that board, you're looking at controlling your opponent's side very, very easily and wiping them out quick, fast, and efficiently. Iron Tony is the #1 tank in the game, and no one can tell me different, at least for the next 30 days. Within the next 30 days, Iron Tony is still the #1 tank. Upon the Astral Impulse falling off, I'm not 100% how well he's going to do, but given the way he plays now, I don't think he's going to be that big of a hindrance, and I don't think it's going to be that big of a change. For his perks, we're going with Shield of Faith, Aqua Vitae, and Pyromaniac. I've said this in a few of my videos already in regards to this. This is my favorite lineup on Iron Tony. I have tried for a more aggressive Iron Tony. I have tried for a more supporting Iron Tony. They all worked out relatively well, but this is the one that shines the brightest. Iron Tony gets a shield at the start of combat. He gets a shield when he activates his ability. He'll get another shield from activating Shield of Faith. And if you happen to throw an Aqua on there because you're feeling spicy, you can get another shield from there, activating Pyromaniac constantly. At level 100, Shield of Faith, once per round after suffering a lethal blow while buffed by Shield of Faith, the hero survives and gains a regular shield equal to 40% of their max HP. So at level 100, you have a chance for Iron Tony to come back. When you strap Aqua Vitae on there, at level 100, it also restores 150 energy. You're going to be regaining your HP. You're going to be going and doing relatively good on coming back. And the fact that it's giving you energy on top of that is not only sustaining Iron Tony for his shields, but also triggering Pyromaniac more. Pyromaniac at level 100 applies a stun for 3 seconds. So if you apply his stun from his ability on top of the shields giving out, on top of everything else, Tony, with all of these at max level 100, has a potential to stun lock a single opponent for a very, very long time. Because Shield of Faith also gains a stun at level 60, when destroyed, the shield stuns nearby enemies for 2 seconds. So if you combine Shield of Faith with Pyromaniac, both at level 100, you're stunning for 2 seconds when the shield breaks, you're stunning for 3 seconds with the Pyromaniac, and everything else on the board. I don't know how much more I can promote this. This is probably the stupidest, sickest combo any sort of tank could ever have. That said, you could also go and put the Shield of Faith and Pyromaniac onto Mako. That works out very well. You can do it on a few cards, honestly. I can go down the list, but it's going to take too long. And then we have Kitsune. She is our counter to a lot of things. So, how I said Iron Tony is the best tank in the game, that's because his attack speed is 0.8 seconds, so his ability goes off frequently. But if you can have a Kitsune there to counter said Iron Tony with her ability, you're sitting right as rain, honestly. I've had it work out very, very well. Kitsune also gets a regeneration combat boost for her ability, which helps keep everything alive. You stack that with Aqua Vitae, you're looking at a very strong opening frontline. For her perks, we're doing Daydreams, Sharknado, and Deadly Swamp. We're turning her into a little bit of an offenser with the Sharknado and the Deadly Swamp, while gaining the weakness from Daydreams. At level 100, Daydreams does weakness is also applied to enemies in a small area around the target. So if you can have that happen with Kitsune, you're spreading a whole bunch of weakness around, and then you're triggering her ability, which does a giant circle around. You're getting more bang for your buck, ultimately. Sharknado at level 100 gains a 1-second stun. The 1-second stun on paper does not sound the greatest in the world. However, if you have an opponent backed up against the wall, the Sharknado will sit on top of them and continuously stun. It's all about the stuns, baby. And then Deadly Swamp. At level 100, enemies in the swamp have a 15% chance to turn into toads for 3 seconds. That is pretty fantastic. Honestly, even if it only triggers 1 or 2 times, if it hits the biggest dog on the yard, the dog becomes a toad. dies very, very quickly. Now, that said, as you can tell, none of my perks are level 100. What I'm trying to relate to everybody is, if you have a big boy account, if you have a small account, the small accounts have something to aim for. The big boy accounts have something to play with. And that's the whole purpose of it. So let's get into our 3 fights, see if this works out as well as I'm promoting it to. All right, first opponent is Tom 2023. Tom, I'm afraid another Tom in my personal life has turned me against you, and I want to cause you pain. So ultimately what I want to do in the first couple of rounds is maintain my perimeter, go and set in cards where I want them to go. So like Evil Eye being right here is fantastic. We'd really like Muerta in this location where Iron Tony's at. We're getting Kitsune left, right, and center, and that's fine by me. We're going to put this Kitsune over here and then drag her over here. This one being in the center, very, very positive. Looks like Kitsune is already chomping at the bit to get to the enemy. So we're going to leave her up front. I have seen some builds along my journey that have had landmine on Kitsune or landmine on Iron Tony. One of the things I can tell you, don't do that. Landmine needs to go on your strongest card, and your strongest card does not need to be a frontliner. Landmine deserves its own place on the second or third row. It never needs to be on the first row unless you are in a very bad predicament. Okay, we're getting Kitsune's left, right, and center. We want this shit to stop, but it doesn't look like it's going to anytime soon. Tier 3 Iron Tony is great. We're getting some really weird placements here. So come next round, I'm going to have 3 already summoned, and I'm going to try and move the Muerta that's right up here. I'm going to try and move it back and then open up that slot for potentially an Iron Tony. We need Tony and Kitsune up front. Griffin can basically be anywhere on the board. He moves super fast, and he does get a combat boost that increases said speed. Excuse me. So it's going to be best to kind of veer into that skid as best as we possibly can. Tony is not wanting to show up on the first row. So let's see if we can change his perspective a little bit and get him to move up that way. All right. We are going to get our super Kitsune out of the way. So that's fantastic. We have a tier 3 Muerta, which is great. We have a landmine set, which is fantastic. We have multiples that we can drop now. And we're just going to let that ride. We came pretty far ahead in that one turn, so it's good just to keep that momentum rolling. Let's see if we can drop these last 2. Doesn't look like it. Looks like they're holding on firm, which is pretty fantastic. So let's see here. This is a fight, and I love it, but we do need Iron Tony. Iron Tony being right there is not going to hurt us in the slightest. We actually kind of like that. So we're going to keep buffing up that Griffin. We're going to pop this one over here. We have Iron Tony in the center now. He'll be coming in the back way. We have Singularity taking out this route. Can we get our other stuff in place? Singularity is now stacked on top of Landmine, which you never want to do, but it is what it is. Boop, they're gone. And then they're going to come back, and we take them. And that's what Singularity is meant for. They come back and not fully aware that the enemy is right on top of them, and they are getting destroyed. We're going to apply the Fear on our Evil Eye, another fantastic tactic. Let's really solidify this Singularity right here in the center. I want to punish this and this as much as I can. Landmine being where Landmine's at is fantastic. We're going to ride the wire a little bit. We're going to keep our Landmine here and here. We're just going to ride the wire, see what comes of it. Griffin fell very, very quickly, and so did Jelly Knight. Morris is the last one standing. They are done. Once all these pieces go into place, it is very, very easy to win. The fights do not take very long. With that said, though, that is with my lineup and my placement on the ladder. You may have a stronger lineup and a stronger placement on the ladder, and that could be leading you into different situational fights. We're going to put that there, put that there. Now, the question comes into play. No, it doesn't. There's nothing over here right now, so we're going to do the Evil Eye here. At Prowess level 40, at level 13, he's doing 1,000,000 damage. He's doing 1,000,000 damage each shot. Plus, you have 246% added on top of that. Watch all this go bye-bye. Boop. They are gone, baby. They are gone. Thank you for joining. Please leave a tip at the door. Perfection. I really believe with this lineup, we're covering every single base possible. We have backline, we have frontline, we have mid-card, we have long-range attacks. It has got the formula for everything possibly good that could come of it. Now, that said, there are certain times where this peters out. If you don't have your Tony, if you don't have a Kitsune, you don't have your Griffin, any of the frontline stuff, if you don't have any of that supered and primed and ready to go, this does fall very, very quickly. As we saw with our first 4 hearts, we didn't have good positioning. We didn't have our layouts the way we needed them. It all kind of went a little sideways for a minute there. However, we did come right back. Win, lose, or draw, we went from immediately losing 4 hearts to now we're back to 1v1. Very, very respectable. Very, very good. We still have 2 rocks left on the board, but ultimately there's nothing else we can do. We kind of just go with what we have, which ultimately still led us to a victory, it looks like. Yep, looking at the health bars, their health bar vanished quickly. Tom, thank you for joining. We knocked you out of the park pretty easily. With his 96% win rate to our 56% win rate, pretty good. But I never look at win rates. And the reason why I say I never look at win rates is a lot of the times the win rate goes on obviously winning and losing. But there's multiple times where you'll run into 3, 4, maybe even 5 rounds of full red perk lineups when you don't have a single red perk to your name, aka my account. So that's the reason why the win-loss record I don't really look at ever, because a lot of those times you're just conceding outright. You're throwing in the flag, playing the game of not today and bang. So let's go into fight number 2, see if we can have another good fight. Alrighty, Belgaron of the USA Knights is our next opponent. Fantastic. This is going to be a good test of our skills. All right. You're going to take first round. You'll probably take the first couple of rounds. Firestarter is a really good opening act. We're going to do... let's go with the... do I really want to go with a poison? Max HP. He doesn't have very many tanks. A lot of it is... We're just going to go with regeneration. If he had a couple of tanks out here, which really, he doesn't have anything that would make me want to do the poison. If there was a tank, like a Tech Golem or an Iron Tony, that's where I really would lead into the poison, because it is affecting their health. Or the percentage based off their health, and they do have high health bars. So, that's where I would apply that. But with the regeneration, we should be able to sustain a little bit longer, especially with the fact that we have Aqua Vitae on our lineup as well. So that does stack relatively. We already have Griffin at tier 3, so this should be a walk in the park for a couple of rounds. Eventually, I am foreseeing him going and adding a little bit more pressure, which I don't necessarily hate. Sorry, I'm trying to focus here for just a second. There we go. That's the placements that we want. Right there. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to call it good. 5 blank spaces is where I generally tend to go with it. A lot of times you will see me dead space, but that's because I'm feeling a pressure to either super out and win the game or try and catch up. Right now, we're in neither position. Right now, we are feeling very, very confident. We're going to go with our 10-second shield, equal to 20% of the max HP. That's going to stack with our regeneration, giving us a little bit more of a cushion to deal with nonsense coming our way. We're going to go here, we're going to go here, we're going to break that rock, and then we're going to cancel that Kitsune out. The reason why I'm doing that is this one right here is in the prime location. We're still going to be pumping her up, left, right, and center. We're going to be doing a damn fine job of that. And that's going to lead into here. So now we already have it at prowess level 6. That's where our tier 3 was at. We dropped that only to have it replaced back here. We still have a high chance of merging out. Now, if he wins, I don't mind that. Don't mind that in the slightest. I'd rather him beat me a couple of times and me lose a couple of hearts and get a couple of those free summons in there than just to steamroll all over him. I want to consistently be in the mindset that this game is an impossible win. Regardless of how quickly I'm beating him, I still want to go with my proper placements. I still want to make sure I'm running it efficiently, just to make sure that even on the easiest wins, I can still keep that momentum going. Because there is certain times where you will get 3 or 4 easy wins back to back to back to back. You get comfortable. You get comfortable having random placements. And then when you get hit with the big lineup that is on par with your power, slightly over your power, or an impossible bot, you're still have the mindset of these are my locations. This is where I need to go. You're not comfortable. You're just at ease. Let's put it that way. I don't know how else to describe that. I'm trying. But it looks like we're going to get our Iron Tony mapped out. We're going to get our Muerta mapped out. I forgot her name for all of 2 seconds. We're going to swing our way over here, and I messed up. I did not mess up. Yes, I messed up because that is a landmine, and I messed up right there, and that's a big mistake. I didn't look at that Muerta. I should have kept the Griffin right there. All right, no better. We're going to sack that. We're going to get our Kitsune. Fantastic. Kitsune is now in the splash zone too, but we do have a shield. We do have the regeneration. Hopefully that's enough to keep us alive. It looks like it is. Fantastic. Way to go, team. We don't even have landmine active. I always go for adds 12 battle prowess to the hero with the lowest battle prowess score or highest. I always go with this one. It is very, very essential to surviving. So we're going to throw this right here. This is our landmine area now. This section right here, this 2x3 section, because we do have to remember Singularity is taking out this center row. Always keep in mind where your Singularity is and where your landmine is. If you have Singularity and landmine on the same card, stop it. Take Singularity or landmine off that card, put it on a different card. Having them on the same card means absolutely nothing. They don't stack. The damage doesn't go well. If you are lucky enough to have 1, 2, and 3 columns with the same card supered out with Singularity and landmine on that card, congratulations. You hit the lottery on locations because those landmines are going to sit. But there is a possibility that Dipwad number 2 here walks over this landmine, triggering that one, and that one. And then when all your Singularity targets come back, there's nothing for them to stand on, so the landmine doesn't trigger. Not worth your time or investment to put Singularity and landmine on the same card. I cannot stress that enough. Oh, same thing with Eldritch Horror. Do not put Eldritch Horror and Singularity on the same card. It does not benefit. Singularity takes out the cards before Eldritch Horror gets to them, and Eldritch Horror has no targets, so ultimately you just killed off your own perk. So, another thing to kind of keep in mind. Looks like he's got PQ ready to go. He is setting up firm. He's getting those landmines scattered out. This could turn into a loss. It could. I believe in him. I believe in his power. Looks like it is. Look at that go. We just need our landmine set up now. Looks like we only need one more Evil Eye. We're going to do Kitsune applies regeneration because we can. That's not look. Oh, nope. There it is. There's the land. There it is. Right there. Boop, boop, and boop. Okay. So now I want to see where all the main pressure is. Main pressure is right here. I don't worry about those guys so much. Duckwing, I don't worry about anymore. Ever. He used to be a big problem. Now he's not. All right. So now we are getting set up nicely. I want a Singularity right here. So if I can get a Muerta to land right here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do Singularity in that spot. Are we going to take him? 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 Oh, we got the stun on Duckwing. Oh, we got the stun on Duckwing. Oh, well, we need to worry about Duckwing. Okay. Well, all the trash talk aside, it looks like we're going to get taken a big L here. Let's go here and here. Get those set up. Beautiful. We got the Muerta right where we wanted the Muerta, so that's pretty great. Let's pump up this Iron Tony. Let's pump up this. Ooh, let's go here to do Iron Tony and the Muerta. Don't think we're going to get 2 more Muertas, unfortunately. We're going to do that there, that to there. There's no other options. And then we're going to drop Kitsune. Got the other Iron Tony. Fantastic. Let's double up on the Tonys. This is our best shot. We are 1v1. We're going to hit him with our best shot and see what comes of it. Wow. That is just a lot to take in. Look at Griffey go. Go, Griffey, go. Look at you. Way to go, team. Hercules. Belgeron, thank you for the fight, buddy. That was a wonderful back and forth. Really made me have to think about that one. Our damage was 160.2 million to his 111 million. I should have shown that on the last fight, but I did not. He spent 60 more summoning tokens than we did. He broke 2 more rocks than we did, but we were on par with our supers. Griffin showing off the big boy damage. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's go into fight number 3. Close this out really well. All right, fight number 3 is against Nexost. They have a pretty strong lineup, so we have something to fear here. Muerta has Hocus Pocus and Deadly Swamp with the immunity. Pirate Queen's got the stuns, the Eldritch, and the Ricochet. So that's pretty impressive. Assuming Shark Boy, aka Mako, has level 100 Bulwark, which is going to be a pain in... This whole thing's going to be a royal pain in the ass to deal with. So we need to play out correctly. We're going to go with enemies start each round with poison because of the fact he has a Mako. That I think that's going to pay off a little bit better for us in the long run. We're going to drop that there to add a prowess. We're going to drop this here. See what comes up top. That's wonderful. That's going to go there. Let's think. I'm not going to make a big enough impact here, so I'm just going to let it go. We're going to lose this one. Look at how much he already has racked across his side. He has so many rocks that are already missing. He has the synergy. He got the placements. RNG worked better in his favor. Let's see what that combat boost was. Maybe he broke rocks off that combat boost. Nope. Add 9 prowess to the lowest. So, yep. He just got way better placements, way better synergy. All right. Well, we're working up that Tony. We'll work up that Tony, break some rocks here, work up more Tonys. All right. Muerta's falling in positions I don't like Muerta falling into. That's a given. Yep. Bulwark. Oh, he's double shielded up. Oh, that's going to be a pain in the butt to deal with. If we get a chance to deal with it at all. Which I'm not 100% if we're going to be able to deal with it. Again, Iron Tony, not getting in the right locations. Where do you have? Okay. Where is your landmine? Kitsune. Of course. I just said it in the last video. I've ran into multiple lineups that's running landmine on Kitsune and Tony, and I do not understand it. I just don't. Why do that? Why? Does it benefit? I'd like for somebody to let me know. If you are running that strat, we're going to go with regeneration because we need it. If you're currently running that strat or that setup and you are subscribed, can you please just enlighten me as to why that is working? Are you seeing a difference? Is it actually making an impact? What's going on? Yeah, I'd really like to know. Just for my own clarification, for my own knowledge, I like to know more about the game than what I already do. I'm constantly trying to evolve as a player and content creator. So if you are running that, please let me know, because I've tried it and I saw it more of a hindrance than a help. We definitely lost this one, but we're going to go down friggin' swinging. Now, the reason I'm saying we lost this one, we're too far behind. That's just the kind of the brass tacks of it. We are way too behind. There is really nothing that's going to change about that. Yeah. Now, say we did have like a level 100 on or Tech Golem armor plating. We'd probably stand a better chance because of that immunity at the beginning. We might stand a chance, but right now, nah, it's not really looking like it. All right, Tony fighting his... This is the reason why Tony is the #1 tank in the game. Look at him go. He is fighting them off. He said, not today, I will not be your victim. All right, let's move this right here because we want to try and get Muerta in that spot. Muerta, you landed in the wrong location. Twice. We're going to do the one thing I never want to do, but I want this gone. I don't like doing this. This is not part of my game plan. I do not like doing this at all. I don't like Singularity and Landmine in the same row. But unfortunately, our hand has been forced, and we are needing to do this. Unfortunate. Really. We're going to put this all the way back here. We're going Griffin all the way to the back line. This is the best we can do. This is our final shot. Like, I'm hoping Double Iron Tony takes this. If Double Iron Tony takes this, I'm gonna be so happy. That is a great thing to see. Okay, so we have a possibility. We have a chance. Can we make the comeback? We're gonna be stacking up Landmine as best as we possibly can. We're gonna drop the Tony, drop the Muerta, see if we can get a Kits. We got that Kits, baby. We got the kits. Okay, we're going to bring this over to here and go down that route. Unfortunately, Evil Eye is not going to survive very long these rounds. Because of Hocus Pocus and everything else, he's just dead. However, the rest of our stuff, holding firm. Aqua Vitae, showing its value. Look at that, yes! All right, we just need 2 more Evil Eye. 2, just need 2. Give me the evil. Just give me it. Bastards. Nope. I will sack everything to get to the Evil Eye. I will. Don't tempt me. All right, looks like we're sacking everything. Evil Eye. Damn it. We sacked everything. We got nowhere. And that probably just cost us. Maybe. Nope. Oh my God, look at it. Oh, that is solid work. Oh, comeback is real. Oh, back to 1v1 on the hearts, baby. Okay, let's get that evil. That's right. Get the Evil Eyes. Get them. Okay, now we have landmine covering this entire section here. Granted, this column's taken out because of singularity. He doubled up on the Marta. All right, let's see how well this runs. Let's see. Get it, baby. Get it. Get it. I love it. I love every second of it. We blocked the Hocus Pocus from our first Evil Eye. He is playing a role big time. Those stuns coming out, but Iron Tony is just showing his worth. Feel it. Feel it. That is what it's all about. 1, 2, 3, 4 red perks, 3 legendaries, 6 epic perks. We only have 1, 2, 5 legendary perks, 3, 6, 9 epic perks, and 1 uncommon. And we fought back, baby. Oh, that is beautiful. What's our damage? 310.6 million to his 218.6. Full max level lineup. We only have 2 maxes. The rest are level 13s. This is fantastic. I cannot stress this enough. This is probably the strongest lineup I can possibly come up with. I'm sure there's others. I'm sure there's different ways, and I'm sure astral lineups are a big thing. But this is one astral. And honestly, I feel like once the astral impulse falls off of Iron Tony, this lineup alone could still move mountains. Love it, love it, love it. So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys got information from the Temple of Fortune explanation. And I hope you guys enjoyed these fights. I know I did. And with all that said, I'm going to leave you the same way I always do. Life can be fun if you allow it to be. We'll see you next time.